Hello all and welcome back to the NFL Quick Talk podcast. If you liked this show, if you've liked previous videos, please consider subscribing. Today, in this video, we will be continuing our prediction and breakdown of the divisions videos, and we will be doing the NFC North today. Let's waste no more time. Let's get right into it. If you're brand new to the channel, I would suggest you go watch NFC North video because I explain what I usually do, but if you've already watched the NFC North breakdowns and predictions, then you know how this works. We're going to do the roster first, and we're going to go through the season. I wish I had more time to explain in depth my decisions so that you all know, but I got to keep it under 15 minutes. That's what I plan to do. That's what I always try and do. So I will hit you up in the comments if you have a complaint or whatever, and I'll help you guys through that as well. And without further ado, we have the Washington Commanders at a B- overall roster grade. I like the addition of Eric Bieniemy as offensive coordinator. He'll take this offense to another level where it just hasn't been these last couple of years. I don't really trust Ron Rivera because he hasn't been able to win the big games in his career at Washington. I think if he could win some big games, that could really help, and if he could really manage the team well. For the offense to be good, they have to be able to run the ball, and I'm not sure if I see that with a mediocre to honestly not very good offensive line and a running back in Brian Robinson that is not very explosive. He's really more ground and pound, turn out the 3-4 yards instead of really the home run hitter, and they need more of a home run hitter to play against these with the bad offensive line. Having said that, I really think that the receiving core for Washington is very underrated. They have a stud in Terry McLaurin, a rising stud in Jahan Dotson, and a very solid receiving tight end in Logan Thomas, who'll be coming back from injury. And that's it for the offensive side. So they have to be able to run the ball. They have to play in a couple dimensions, not just one dimension. Again, it'll all depend on the play of Sam Howell. I'm not sure if he's gonna play that great or not. We'll find out. On the defensive side, the linebackers will have to play well. Players like Jamin Davis that they've been waiting for him to break out. He has to play well for the defense to be elite. And the defense, besides that, is elite. Their offensive line not their offense. Their defensive line is elite. One of the top 3 defensive line in the whole of the NFL. The secondary is very underrated with players like Benjamin St-Juste. And I think that defense will be a top 10 defense at the very least. Quick hitters of the Commanders' schedule. Y'all know how this works. In week 1, you will play at home versus the Cardinals. I think this is going to be a relatively easy win. At the Broncos versus the Bills. At the Eagles, 3 teams that just have better rosters overall than you. You're going to drop all 3 of these games. Going into week 5, Thursday Night Football, short a week. At home versus the Bears. It's going to be an ugly one, I think, on Thursday night. But I think you pick this one out, pick up this win here. And week 6, you'll go to the Falcons, have a little bit of a longer week. You're going to win this one. You'll go to the Giants, stay on the road. In my opinion, you lose this one. You'll come home and play the Eagles for the second time. I think you drop this one. You're going to drop both to the Eagles. They're just too good of a team. You'll go to the Patriots. I think you'll pick up a win here, hard fought. And you go to the Seahawks. This is going to be a defining game, whether you guys are going to whether the Commanders will stay in or out of contention. I think you win this one. You'll go and you will play versus the Giants. I think you win this one as well. You're on a bit of a roll now. Now you go to the Cowboys. I think you lose this game, and then you lose versus the Dolphins going into the bye week where you're 6-7. Week 15 picks up. You'll go to the Rams. I think you lose this one. A little bit of a surprise. You'll lose at the Jets next week. And then you'll finish out the season at home versus the 49ers, which is a loss, and then versus the Cowboys, which I think you will pull out a win there, finishing the season 7-10. Next team up, we have the New York Giants. The Giants, their roster is at a B-. I think Saquon Barkley being back after the contract drama helps out a ton. He's a top 5 running back talent-wise. He'll be the focal point in the offense. The receivers have the potential to be solid with Wan'Dale Robinson coming off an injury and the addition of Darren Waller, the tight end, and Jaylon Hyatt in the draft Hyatt seems to be impressing during camp. The defensive line is very underrated with players like Kayvon Thibodeaux and Dexter Lawrence. They're both elite, borderline elite. The addition of Deonte Banks in the secondary is huge. He was great at University of Maryland. I think he'll be very good. The coaching, Brian Daboll, I love him as a coach. He's awesome. He's very relatable with the players. And I think the Giants roster is pretty well-rounded, just a little bit below league average. Quick hitters with the Giants schedule. In week 1, you'll play versus the Cowboys Sunday night. This will be a statement win for you guys, for the Giants. At the Cardinals, I think you pick up a win here. Staying on the West Coast, you play the 49ers on Thursday night. Short week. I think you lose this game. You'll come home to play the Seahawks on Monday night. I think you pick up a win here. Lots of time to prepare between Thursday and Monday. You'll play at the Dolphins. I think you lose this game. You'll play at the Bills on Sunday night. Staying in the East, at AFC East. You will lose this game. You will play host to the Commanders. I think you win this game in Week 7. In Week 8, you will play host to the Jets. I think you lose this game. At the Raiders, I think you win. And then the next 3 games at the Commanders, Cowboys, and then versus the Patriots, I think you lose to all 3. Going into the bye week 5 and 7, versus the Packers on Monday night, I think you lose this game. At the Saints in Week 15, I think you win this game. Then at the Eagles, I think you lose. Playing host the Rams, I think you lose. Coming down the stretch, you're going to fade a little bit. Then you will rebound in Week 18 to beat the Eagles on your home turf to finish the season 7-10. Going to the Dallas Cowboys, I have the roster at a B+. Letting the previous OC go, Kellen Mond, doesn't really bode well with me. He led the Cowboys offense to one of the best offenses the last couple years. And that doesn't really bode well with me because you're exchanging it with Mike McCarthy play calling, and I don't think that'll get their offense to where they were with Kellen Mond. Dak Prescott, their quarterback, is getting older and coming off a season in which he threw the most interceptions, 15, in the league. He threw the most interceptions in the league while still missing 5 games. So he threw 15 and 12 games. Yet, this is the best roster Dak Prescott may ever have because players like his receivers are very well-rounded. Players like CeeDee Lamb and Brandon Cooks. Their offensive line and defensive line are excellent, top-notch lines. Micah Parsons is the best defensive player in the league, period. He is the front runner for every single defensive award out there. He is the best defensive player in the league. And their secondary is elite with players like Trayvon Diggs. It all depends on Dak. If Dak can play well, this team will go places. Going on to the Cowboys' schedule, Week 1 at the Giants. We discussed this game. You take this L here on Sunday night. You rebound with 3 strong games, playing at home versus the Jets, at the Cardinals, coming back home to play the Patriots. I think you can win all 3 of these games. Week 5, Sunday night, at the 49ers. Tough game. I think you'll lose this one. At the Chargers on Monday night the next week, I think you lose this game also. A little bit of a slump. You're going to the bye week 3-3. You come out of the bye week versus the Rams and get a definitive win. I think you win this by 15-plus points here. You will go to the Eagles. Hard game. Hard place to play. Philadelphia, I think you lose this game. You will come home to play the Giants. You win here at the Panthers. So this will be an easy dub for the Cowboys. You will come home, play the Commanders. I think you win there. On Thursday night, short week, you play host to the Seahawks. A little bit of a time differential for the Seahawks. I think you win this one, and it'll be tight, but I think you win this one. Sunday night, next week, versus the Eagles. I think you win this one at home, where the lights shine brightest on Sunday night. I think you win that one. At the Bills, I think you'll win this one. It's going to be tough, very tough. I think you'll win. At the Dolphins, I think you'll win this one too. I could easily see either of these last 3 games, Eagles, Bills, or Dolphins, swapping to a loss, but that's what I have there. Last 2 weeks versus the Lions on Monday night, I have the Cowboys losing that one, and then at the Commanders, I have them losing to finish 11-6. Moving on to the Philadelphia Eagles, I have their overall roster at A-. Losing Shane Steichen as offensive coordinator is concerning, but with players like A.J. Brown, Dallas Goedert, and Devonta Smith at an elite wide receiver room, I think that the offense will still be just fine with an elite quarterback like Justin Fields. I had him ranked in S tier. If y'all want to go see the quarterback tier vids, they're out previously on the channel. The D-line and O-line are both elite. The O-line, even though they did lose Isaac Seumalo to the Steelers, they gained a very young, bright, emerging star in Cam Jurgens at guard, so they're still going to be the number one O-line, number one D-line. Linebacker is a bit of a concern with me. It's not very deep. They really need third rounder Nakobe Dean to step up in a big way this season, and if the linebacker room can be halfway decent, this defense will be elite because the secondary as well is excellent and underrated as well. And their kicking game with Jake Elliott is good, is pretty above average even still. So I think the Eagles have the best overall roster. Their roster is borderline elite. Going to the schedule, you're going to start off at New England. I think you win this game. Thursday night next week versus Minnesota. I think you win this game. You'll go to Tampa Bay on Monday night. You win this one. You will play host to Washington. I think you win this game as well. You'll go to the Rams. I think you win this game. At the Jets. This is going to be a very tough game. I can see this game flip-flopping back and forth. I can see them losing this game, but I think they'll win. Versus Miami, same scenario as the Jets. If Tua's healthy, I think that they could lose this game, but I see them winning this game. At Washington, I think they win. And then versus Dallas at home, I think they win going into the bye week 9-0. Although that will change coming out of the bye week on Monday night at Kansas City. I think you lose this game. Patrick Mahomes will do too much. Versus Buffalo, I think you hit a little bit of a skid here and you lose this game. Versus San Francisco, you get right back into the win column versus a very good team. At Dallas, I think you lose this game. You're going to split the season series with Dallas on Sunday night. At Seattle, I think you pick up a win here versus the Seahawks. Versus the Giants, I think you win this one on Monday night. And versus Arizona in Week 17, I think you guys are going to win this one by at least 20 points. It's going to be a slaughter. And then last game of the season at the Giants, I think you take a little bit off the gas. You've already locked up your division and probably the first round bye. So I think you rest some starters. You lose this game at the Giants. And with that ends the NFC East predictions. In last place, we have the Washington Commanders at a 7-10 record, B- roster. The Giants, same thing, 7-10, B- roster. I think through tiebreakers, they'll finish third. In second, we have the Cowboys at 11-6 with a B+ roster. They'll definitely make the playoffs with ease. And then the Eagles, who will probably lock up the number one seed in the NFC with an A- roster. And that's the NFC East right there, as predicted by yours truly. Thank you all for watching the NFL Quick Talk podcast about NFC East. If you like the video, please like and subscribe and share it with a friend. That would be awesome. The channel's growing every day. And we're going to see you next time for either the South or the West. I'm going to put out a community post. Y'all write in the comments and say whether you want the NFC South or West done next. And we'll finish up the NFC. Then we'll move on to the AFC. That's my plan. So anyway, thank y'all for watching. Like and subscribe. And we'll see y'all on the flip side.